Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I dyed a bundle with the Garnier Nutrice color 111 white chocolate or the extra light ash blonde. So I'm just showing the box here and I'll open it up and show you guys what came with this dye. So I have my bundle here on top of a plastic bag. Of course it came with the developer and the color mix, and then it came with a conditioner and a small thing of oil and the instructions. So I'm just opening that up and looking through it, and they also included a pair of gloves. So I'm just gonna follow the instructions. The only thing I do differently when I dye my hair using like box dye, because I'm doing it on weave that's already been processed, I don't let it sit as long. So I let it sit for like maybe 10 minutes. Once I see the color has changed, I just go ahead and rinse it out. And that takes like 10 minutes, especially since this is already a 613 color. So I'm mixing the hair dye with the developer, and I'll go ahead and shake that up and mix it. So I already sealed the wefts on this bundle, and I just used a weft sealer from the beauty supply. It was like $5.99, and I applied it to both sides of the tracks. And I'm going to add this bundle to the ash blonde wig that I already have. In case you're wondering why I didn't use the same brand of dye as before, I couldn't find the exact same one. I was using before the Revlon Ultra Light Ash Blonde, and I couldn't find it in the store. So I went with the Garnier Extra Light Ash Blonde, because it looked pretty similar in color. Plus I get to try out their dye because I've never actually used their brand of hair color, so I'm willing to give it a try. I'm just spreading the color on top of the hair here. As you see, I'm not doing it neatly. I'll comb it through and make sure I get it all through the hair, but I don't do it like super neatly with a brush, and it's not real technical. It doesn't need to be done perfectly. So that's just what I'm doing here. I do want to add that this dye has a very strong smell, much stronger than the Revlon. It made my eyes burn and my nose was burning. I actually had the window open and it was really, really strong. So if you have asthma or really like sensitive allergies, I would not recommend this color, because I think it could flare up somebody's asthma. Is that like if you're sensitive? Like I have asthma, but my asthma is not super sensitive. I use my inhaler probably like maybe once a month, not often, but be really careful, guys, if you decide to use this and you suffer from asthma or allergies. I also want to note that this dye is a little more expensive. So at Walmart, the Revlon is like $3 or less. This dye runs a little higher. It's like $6 to $7. So it's a little more expensive. I don't think you get any more dye than you get in the Revlon package. It seems like it's about the same amount for the price and everything. I honestly at this point would say go for the Revlon. I think that as I went through and I was dyeing the hair, as I applied the color, I think that the hair felt softer with using the Revlon versus using the Garnier brand dye. And that's just my opinion. The Garnier came with more stuff, like it came with like an oil and a conditioner. But even after applying that oil on top of the hair and following the instructions, the hair that had been dyed with Revlon felt softer to me. Not that the hair felt bad afterwards, but I just thought that the Revlon was better. It could possibly be the difference between the hair vendors, because I ordered this hair from Amazon and the wig came from AliExpress, I believe. So that could be why there's a difference, but I'm not sure entirely. So I have the dye mix all throughout the bundle, and I'm just gonna let it sit and process for about maybe 7 more minutes. I don't let it process too long. Like I said before, I also do not cover it with foil because I'm not trying to speed it up. The hair is already blonde, does not need that much time, and I want to see what's going on, so I don't let it sit too long. Okay, so after the hair sat, I went ahead and rinsed it out, and then I shampooed the hair and put the conditioner that came with it and the oil. So after I shampooed the hair and let it air dry, this is how it looked. I'm really happy with the color and the tone of it. I still do think it's a little drier, but it's fine overall. And this is what I did with the bundle. So I went ahead and added this bundle into the ash blonde wig that I colored in one of my other videos, because some were wondering what could you do if you weren't happy with the density of your wig and you wanted your wig a little thicker. Well, this is a solution. Once you've already purchased the wig and you've already cut the lace and you can't return it, you can always add another bundle in. What you're going to do is you are going to take the wig and put it on a stand and look for spaces in between the tracks that are on the wig. For the purposes of this video, I did use black thread because when I used the blonde thread, it didn't show up as well on camera. But I'm actually going to redo this and use blonde thread because it looks better and you can't see it. Believe me, if you use some black thread on a blonde wig, especially this light of a color, you're definitely going to see it, especially towards the top. Maybe not at the bottom so much, but at the top. But yeah, I will go back through, but for the purposes of the video, so you guys can see what's going on, I used the black thread and I just lifted up the tracks and then I pinned the tracks forward where I was separating it, and I just added tracks in between. I did single tracks towards the top of the wig, closer to the frontal. And then in the back, I did double up the tracks. So I guess towards the back, or the proper word will be the bottom of the wig. There's actually bigger spaces on this wig. I can't say that that's universal, but it probably is, because you don't want the hair so bulky at the bottom because it could lead to more matting. But that's where you're going to find you have the most spaces at. So if you are dead set on fitting the entire bundle onto the wig, that's probably where most of your tracks will go. And in the case of somebody trying to add length to a wig, because that's also an option for that, you want to add it to the bottom of the wig. Because if you purchase the wig, let's say at maybe 18 inches and you want to take the wig to 22 inches, if you add those tracks at the top of the wig closer to the frontal, it's not going to give you the length you want. So it's best to add them towards the bottom, and most wigs I think have more spacing towards the bottom anyways. So that's where I added most of my bundles was at the bottom, and then towards the top I did just single tracks. I didn't do double layered tracks because I don't want the wig to be bulky at the top, or the frontal may not be able to cover up those tracks. Make sure that your thread is flat and that it's not bunching up or that you're pulling it super tightly, because that will make the wig pull and bunch up, and then your wig may not fit the same way. It will actually end up being more tight. So if you're already having trouble with the wig fitting on your head, it's definitely not going to fit as well, because if you pull the thread too tightly, you're also pulling the fabric closer together. So just be mindful as you do that. And I am cutting the threads very shortly once I finish the track. And I just want to show you guys some areas where I doubled up the tracks. So this is one area where I did double up the track, and you see it's a little bit thicker there. Even with the black thread, once the hair is on top of it, you can't actually see the thread, but it's still my preference that you use blonde thread. This is the final product of it. Keep in mind, I do have black thread in there. I did go back afterwards and I did the blonde thread, and it was not visible, but the black thread definitely was. But you can see outside of the thread, if you're just looking at it, the density fits in very well with the wig, and the color blended in very well. You can't tell which tracks were dyed separately. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. I think that this will be great for if I'm wearing the wig straight, not so much in a natural state because it's too much hair. But yeah. So here are some bonus photos of how the wig looks with the tracks added, and none of them are visible. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!